Last time on Dice Funk.
Though there are, like, it is meant to look like a military ensemble. Like, she has medals, but, like, as you get closer and you look at them, you can see that they're made from, like, crushed tin and old bottle caps. And she has, like, epaulettes on, but they're, like, made from cut bootlaces. Like, it's very much like this is like someone trying to dress like they would assume a military commander would.
There was a time when I first heard about your banyan tree and the resurrection that I was more idealistic about it, but I see as the queue grows, it's going to become less and less practical to bring people back, to let them continue their lives as they were. Eventually, when people bring a bone to the island, they will do so with the understanding that they are saying goodbye to the person they knew and just giving them some time in the future to finish their story out.
I'm still not sure you've answered my question on who should be brought back.
Maybe ask me again after this is all over, after this vibe check, and I've had a chance to go through the process. Ask me about when I wanted to come to this island for the first time. Maybe then you'll understand.
I have that poison I made, and this would be a good time to test it out.
It is now dead. Once this arcane energy sort of explodes through it, it seems like it passes out. Like, in this case, it looks like something literally erupted inside of it and shot out. But it is not a creature that is normally meant to do anything like that. So yeah, it is currently DOA.
I think Stranger looks to it and then probably looks over his shoulder to like an exploded tree and goes, I think I'll have to modify the dosage if I want to recover the corpse.
I think with the botch, what's going to happen is Miss Killings is getting perhaps impatient with all of this, as she's like, hey, where's this fucking legendary item that we're here for? Like, you're very much of like, time is efficiency. Like, we're just watching cutscenes of this person's life. This is taking too much time. And in the process of that, your image of Jericho isn't complete anymore. And the sort of projection of him that has followed along with you has sort of reduced in capacity. Like, it looks less powerful than it did before.
So, Hylia's whole gambit to die and be resurrected, you're gonna get to vote on whether she wins or not. But if she loses, it's not like there's gonna be no leader of Banyan Island or the Riddlefish Church. That vacuum will be filled. So if you don't choose Hylia, you are choosing Bishop Bittercreek, who has his own agenda.
Of course. Or someone else who rises up in her place.
Yeah, so you guys are going to follow General Raso into the War Biome, and the moment you step into it, you find yourselves just surrounded by violence. There are fights happening all over the place, and it doesn't take long before someone charges at you with an entire small army's worth of people behind them, and they say, "To death's point we bring you! Draw your weapons!"
A dead dove inside, do not eat. I don't know what I was expecting.
Alright, you guys ready to die?
We're all ready to die. Let's fucking go. This is the culmination of everything I've worked toward this season. Let's fucking die.
Just welcoming people to the function. Hey kids, who's ready to die?
Would it be shocking to find out, after my explanation last week that I may or may not have inverted organs, that I almost died like 4 times before I was actually born?
Oh my god.
That's not surprising, but that sounds 4 times.
I was born with a dented skull. They thought I had a twin. It was just a big tumor squishing me.
Oh my
Holy
god,
shit.
Dan. Why?
Dan, what the fuck?
There is no lead up to this. This is just happening.
And then what was it? My mom's body thought I was a parasite. Ironic, really, and tried to kill me. That was great. They had to remove me.
What's ironic about that? I've lost the meaning of ironic completely.
Do you need a hug?
Nah, it's fine. Again, this has been happening since before I was born, so you get through it.
Okay. I feel bad opening the episode by saying you're all gonna die when, Dan, you've scraped past death so many times they should just make a Final Destination movie where you're the only character.
I've kind of overflown the buffer, I think, at this point.
Now you're indestructible?
Yeah, I'm like Mr. Burns. I'm indestructible.
Okay, so last time you guys were following through the vibe check of Commander Reisu, and you have followed her throughout her journey into the new world and across a couple different biomes, eventually leading into the War Biome. This last sort of hurdle. If she can get through this, she can lead what remains of her retainers into the progress or to the civilization biome, and everything will go hunky dory, right? That's why you're here, checking a body part.
Yeah, I'm sure this won't end catastrophically for her.
Everything will be fine.
You've got to hand it to her. I'm sure it'll go fine.
Whoa! Unfortunately, as mentioned, you're in the War Biome, and a group of soldiers are coming at you, so you're going to need to roll initiative.
It would have been pretty funny if we showed up and they were all just playing like Warhammer, and they're like, "Yeah, no, we love war in a completely academic way, just the strategies, thinking about it. We're reading Sun Tzu. Come on in."
There's a version of the story where that is what happens, but this is just a corner of little freaks.
How do you think the War Biome replenishes like the people living? I feel like you'd really chunk through your population fast.
All right, so it looks like Lilian's at the front here. There's a whole bunch of soldiers coming towards you. What are you going to do?
So the Tale from Beyond, I summon like this glowing seed, and then it becomes my ghost pepper mask, which is like the leaves and like the peppers themselves, and like this like really like spicy looking hot pepper mask, like something that's like kind of like a dragon mask almost because of the original inspiration. And then I can use my action to activate the tail, and the target spews fire from their mouth in a 30-foot cone. Each creature must make a dexterity saving throw.
How about a 0?
That doesn't work at all.
Yeah.
Fire damage equal to 4 rolls of your bardic inspiration die. So that's 4d8.
Yep.
D8 for those bad boys. All right, Lilian is spewing 16 fire damage at these people.
All right. Very, very good. Is there anything Lilian does particularly as she breathes fire? Is she like trying to do any sort of flourish or anything, or moving to like any kind of position as these soldiers like are surrounding you?
I think what Lilian is trying to do is like put on like a very aggressive like frontal assault on these people as they try to surround us. So like take like a more aggressive power stance than Faye that you would usually see from Faye.
Okay. Awesome. All right. It is the soldiers' turn. There are going to be a load of these people coming in. So these are going to be attacks against all of you as this group just starts to swarm you, essentially. Against Lilian, a 24. Against Stranger, a 17. And against Miss Killings, a 12.
I'll use silvery barbs on the one that hit me.
Oh yeah, can I use silvery barbs on myself?
Coward, take it like a pumpkin.
I believe you can. That'll be 25 as the rerolled attack against Stranger.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, fuck you. But yeah, that'll hit.
Okay. Is Lilian using Silvery Barb?
Yeah, let me just... Yeah, Silvery Barb. Bloop.
17 then for Lilian.
17 still hits.
How does this? Because we've seen, I believe, Lilian's version of Silvery Barbs. How does that represent for Stranger? What makes yours different?
I think it's literally just him throwing vines out to try to like redirect, and I think they just weed whacker him. There's too many of them.
Yeah. I think there is a weird discipline to these soldiers that as you get close to them, you realize there's no real face inside of it. In fact, if you look inside where there's would be like, the humanoid form inside of these different armors, there just appears to be like more blades and blood. Like it's just this sort of like violent gore almost that exists where like a person would be. And they are going to deal... It's going to be 17 damage to Lilian and 12 damage to Stranger.
Owie.
Ooh.
What about me?
Yeah. Did 12 hit?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I didn't even realize. I was like, there's no way. There's
12?
no way. 12 couldn't possibly hit.
I'm a business lady. What do you mean?
What's your dexterity?
11. What?
Damn.
Or 10. My dexterity's 10, actually. Let's not get wild. 11 is ambitious.
Man, we gotta get you mage armor.
17.
Bonk.
Yeah. So a lot of damage going around. That's their turn. It's going to be Stranger.
Okay, important, I guess, mechanical question. These are, like... I can transform into something here, and it has a multi-attack, but it specifies its 2 attacks can't be against the same target. Do these guys count as a single target for mechanical purposes?
For mechanical purposes, you're allowed to use both attack rolls. You're attacking like a bunch of them, but it won't... Yeah, yes,
Got
you
it.
can use both attacks.
Okay. Perfect. So this is the War Biome, and everything Stranger has turned into up to this point are like animals that he were in pumpkin monsters that he would grow to live in like an environment and serve a purpose within like an ecological system. But that's not the only thing he can turn into, and that's not the only thing that people have grown over the years. And he is going to cast Polymorph to turn into a giant, horrendous pumpkin monster, whose stat line I'm using for this is a T-Rex.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
I will drop a picture in chat for reference. It's just a gnashing pile of vines, teeth, and pumpkins, and slime oozing from its toothed maw. And I believe that'll be the end of my turn for the moment, as he transforms, roars, and then gets ready to start eating everyone.
All right, so last episode, my connection with the tree was weakening because I was being too... what's the word?
A bitch.
I can't say that word. You can, though. I was being unpleasant and not...
Yeah, I know every time you're singing along to songs, you always avoid saying that word. You're like, no, not me.
Except for that one song, it's like, I'm a bitch. I'm a bitch. I replace every word. I don't say mother or lover. I just, I'm a bitch over and over. And it's like my one free pass. I don't know why we're going down this rabbit hole. I was losing connection with the tree, and my dog, the Jericho, the Pomeranian, was flickering out, so I'm going to lose access to my Eldritch Blast. You didn't say I did. I'm just extrapolating. I can't do my main thing. And I'm going to use one of my precious Warlock spell slots to cast Blight. Blight is a rude spell. Necromancy energy washes over a creature of your choice. They must make a Constitution saving throw. They take 8d8 on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one.
Okay, so Constitution saving throw. is a 14.
14 does not beat 16, so Killings takes that rose that Lilian threw to her in the first fight of this arc. I think it was a Bardic Inspiration, and she tosses it at one of the soldiers as it rushes at her, and then it just kind of explodes in necromantic energy and maybe, just rots everyone in the area away as much as the 8d8 makes sense to do. So that is going to be 33.
33 damage. That is very, very good. Yeah, you're absolutely. Some of these people are just like obliterated. But the thing I want to note as we start to round up this turn cycle is that the enemies just kind of keep coming. And at this point, you can see that General Raso and her group are being overwhelmed, and one of the few retainers she has left is just like decapitated in front of you. And there is just a swarm of violence currently going on. It's going to be Lilian's turn.
All right, with I believe my last 3rd level spell slot, I'm going to cast Cloud of Daggers just over whichever swell of these like attackers would be like the best to focus it over.
They probably love that shit. That's so much violence.
Yeah. We fucking love lots of daggers.
Have we considered just talking to these people? Have we tried to Steven Universe it?
We have to trick them into going to the diplomacy biome. And they're like, damn, I never thought of it that way.
Shit, that actually makes a lot of sense.
Okay, let's see. Creature takes 4d4 slashing damage when it enters the spell area for the first time, and on the start of a turn, if it stays there. So that's 12 slashing damage. And I think the way that this one looks is... Because I don't think I've used Cloud of Daggers yet, right?
Not this season.
So the way that Cloud of Daggers looks is that Lilian's going to raise up Fair Rapier, and like the rapier is going to like look like it's fracturing out into more rapiers, and then they like shoot up into the air down into like the cube where that spell takes effect.
Yeah. All right. Absolutely. Yeah. You have this. You have your death cube basically. And it is definitely like slicing up people that enter into it. However, it does not seem to completely deter anybody as another round of attacks are coming your way. So Lilian, 17, Stranger, 10, and Miss Killings, a 27.
Ah, just got her. Oh, that one just got me, Odell.
Damn, almost.
Just nicked her nose a little bit on the backswing.
Oh, man.
10 misses.
17 hits me.
All right, so Lilian is going to take 17, and then Miss Killings will take 9.
I miss being a fighter. Eldritch Blast isn't worth it. Let me have my armor.
Let me out of this cage. All right, that's their turn. Stranger, you're a T-Rex. What are you going to do?
First, I'm going to start eating people.
Hell yeah.
Let's fucking go.
22 hit.
Yes, absolutely, dog.
All right, 40, 12 plus 7.
Quinn is throwing up every flag like this is a futile gesture. This is an endless wave of violence. You can't solve this by fighting back. And Dan's like, gutting.
But what if I eat enough of them?
I mean, that's fucking metal, so I proudly support it. 30 damage is very, very good. You're absolutely able to like chow down on some of these people. You could just, I don't know, do you eat them? They're not like, from what you've seen, there's no flesh to them.
Mm-hmm. So I think I'm holding them in my mouth at this point because I grapple them in the process and restrain them.
I don't know. That's that nebulous D&D wording of restraint. I guess technically, yes, if an alligator is eating me, I am currently restrained in its mouth. But
yeah, it's going to be a little bit hard to fight back.
It doesn't feel like that's a fair way of using that term.
There are some chicken nuggets restrained inside of me right now.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what the fuck?
So in theory, I have another attack now, and we said that we'd roll with me being able to hit them with it. I'm not gonna roll with advantage for this because I don't think it necessarily makes sense that I should be able to mechanically. But it might make sense for the team to be able to swing with advantage against these restrained creatures.
Sure.
That'll be 29. I just missed them.
That actually, they have a weird mechanic where the higher you roll, the less chance you have to hit them. So that's actually no, you hit them.
We joke about that like it can't be a real. I think that could be a gimmick for a fight. It'd be like, you put all your points into strength, you stupid bitch. Now,
I think that's how nilbogs worked in old D&D.
You just said you never use that word, Austin.
damn.
How dare.
I can't believe it.
Caught out immediately.
Caught in 4K.
Yeah, absolutely. 25, 30, huge fucking damage. You are a T-Rex cleaving your way through these people. But it should be noted that, again, like, there are just so many more, and they are going straight for General Raso. So it is a difficult fight, and it is Miss Killing's turn.
Wait, Dan, are you the pumpkin sarlacc? Is that what's happening?
Kinda, yeah.
All right. Seeing that there's just so many of them and they're trying to all mob the person that I want to talk to find the arrow of giant slaying or whatever, I'm going to use my last spell slot because that's how warlocks work. I don't know if people listening know exactly how every class works, or they just take our word for it. They're like, yeah, sure, it sounds like something they should do.
Everyone's played Baldur's Gate 3 by this point, right?
Yeah, it's good.
So, like,
Well, they're just in it for the sex scenes.
Yeah, they're like, why isn't anyone fucking? This podcast is really taking their sweet time to get there. I'm going to burn my last spell slot on Hypnotic Pattern to create a twisting pattern of colors that weave through the air inside a 30-foot cube. The pattern appears for a moment and vanishes. Each creature in the area who sees the pattern must make a wisdom save. On a failed save, they become charmed for the duration. While they're charmed, they become incapacitated. So basically, I'm just trying to keep everyone off of Ray. So wisdom saving throw against 16.
A 10. So that is a failure. You absolutely are able to hypnotize a big block of these people. How does that look like for Miss Killings, the Banyan Warlock?
Yeah, so she has this paintbrush sword, extreme epic Mickey vibes. I think she like slams it into the ground, and there's like a trail of paint or like a stream of it that like rips through the ground towards the soldiers and then bursts out instead of attacking them. It's just a troop of colorful paint soldiers that just occupy their time because these people seem to be in like some kind of blood craze. They're just berserking. So it's just going to last for this spell lasts for the duration. So for 1 minute, these soldiers will just fight my paint soldiers, and I'm going to try to grab Raso and say, we have to get out of here. You can't win this fight. Let me get you to the next area. Come on.
Yeah, so you grab onto Raso's hand, and you find somebody, like a soldier that you didn't see, some like blind spot that you didn't know existed, comes at you and will come down with their sword and strike General Raso right over her hand and sever it, the one that you were grabbing.
Oh no!
Oh,
Oh man, the fucking Final Destination every time. You can't escape fate.
Oh no, but in like big monster noises.
And another one of her retainers falls. We're going to go back to the top of the order. It's Lilian. There's only one person remaining of Raso's retainers, and she is not looking so great herself. There is essentially one soldier and herself are still left.
for my action, I'm going to try to like clear some more of these like fucking soldier guys away from Raso and her last person specifically with Thunderwave.
19.
All right, that does save, so they take half damage and they aren't pushed away, so that's 9 damage.
All right. Lilian, can you give me an insight check?
Insight check. That's a botch.
Okay, so unfortunately with the botch, violence is going to befall you, Lilian. You are going to take another 8 damage as a blade catches your shoulder. There's something about this last retainer that seemed somewhat familiar to you, but as you try to place it, someone just catches Faye in the back when Faye isn't looking.
All right. I am KO'd. I am down.
Oh, you're down?
I'm down. I had 3 hit points left.
Oh no. How does that look like for Lilian?
I think if it's someone getting Faye in the back, I think Faye was trying to get closer to Reso and the other person, and then just hitches as someone fucking gets them with a sword in the back, and they just fall forward.
It's an interesting consequence of Hylia not being here is she had an ability where she could soak some damage. It's the thing she took when she became a cleric. It was I can when someone near me gets hit, I can roll D10 to absorb that damage for me or something. And so her not being here means she can't save Lilian. I just think that's interesting. No one in the moment would know that, but I know that for my character.
Yeah, Austin's art. He says to himself, staring at his old character sheet.
I think even maybe Lilian was trying to call out to Reso, and that's when Faye gets ganked.
Yeah. Okay. We'll look into the consequences of that in just a little bit.
Is the cinematics of it your Lilian is looking over to Reso, reaching out, and then the camera pan stops and there's a small screen shake and a shunk, and Lilian looks down and there's just a sword sticking through her, through them?
Yeah, kind of like that.
All right. It is now the army's turn, the War Biome's turn, we should say. 2 attacks, 1 against Stranger, 1 against Miss Killings. 19 against Stranger and 12 against Miss Killings.
19 will hit.
Miss Killings is what are you trying to prove right now? You everyone sees you can hit me. What do you think? Is this productive?
All right, it's going to be 12 damage against Stranger and 16 against Miss Killings.
She's making a mocking face. Oh, you think you're so cool hitting a fucking secretary. Big man.
Are you proud of yourself?
Yeah.
The suit of armor full of nothing but gore and metal is just
I rolled a 7, but I had advantage, so I keep my concentration on being a T-Rex.
There you go. You got to stay focused on that. That's honestly one of the biggest lessons we learn in life is you just have to stay focused on being a T-Rex. It's terrible otherwise.
Yeah, you start at age 5 as a young boy, and then you keep doing that for the rest of your life.
Until you're a middle-aged woman. Yep. All right, Dan, it's your turn.
Okay, Stranger is going to rush over in defense of his fallen friend and start mauling everything around Lilian. (26).
Yep, that's a hit.
That is 27 damage, and then his other attack, 22.
That's also a hit.
So that is 36 total.
All right. Great damage, and you're being very protective. I imagine this is a very cool scene of a person falling in battle and then a T-Rex coming to defend their body.
Yeah, a horrifying pumpkin monster just rampaging through, picking up these bodies with his vines and just hurling it into his sarlacc bit of a mouth.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. It is Miss Killing's turn.
Yep. So Miss Killing sees that Stranger is covering Lilian, and I'm going to continue my attempt to extract General Reso for whom I believe we are here. I'm not even sure if Austin isn't sure if that's true. Miss Killings believes it is. Using Infernal Legacy, some inbuilt tiefling spells she just has, including Darkness. So basically, she pops the smoke, and tries to extract Raiso from the battlefield by casting a Orb of Darkness. This is just something she can do without a spell slot, but she can only do it once per long rest. So I just drop Darkness on the battlefield. My my hypnotic pattern still got the as many soldiers as it has for the way this game works, 9 more turns. So
yeah, you got them unlocked for quite a while.
Yeah, so she's creating quite a tableau. There's purple and red and blue and orange soldiers fighting these blood steel fellas, and then she just creates darkness and pulls this dragonborn into it and just tries to drag her away.
All right, so yeah, you try to create this darkness, and you're trying to get General Raiso into it, and she's going to look towards you and say, "Thank you for everything you've done, soldier. But a good commander knows when it's time to call the retreat. Get out of here!"
It can't be for nothing, General. We have to have come all this way for something. I need something I can bring home to my people to protect them.
It won't be for nothing if you survive. Raiso's retainers can still live if you survive.
Not. Yeah, I got to think about. So the whole last episode, people were like, "Why aren't you taking this seriously? Killings? Do you not have a heart? What's your whole fucking shit?" I'm just trying to think how she would play this, because it's like, I know this isn't real. She's not going to suddenly 180 in character and cry and be like, "Oh my god, your spirit's so beautiful. I can't leave you behind." But she does. She says, that. You know what? I think she might just say that she might have a way to bring back the other soldiers, just to float it and see, and say, if I have this sacred relic, which I believe is nearby, I think I can revive your soldiers. We have the spells in my home. I just need to find it. Anything you can tell me.
General Raiso will kind of look at you with a sort of intimidating aura, and she's going to say, "This isn't a request, soldier. This is an order. Retreat. You've done so much. You've created a way out of here. Take it."
Yeah, I mean, I think Killings is going to reluctantly. She's heard about the vibe checks. She's never done one before, but she realizes that the way this has worked before is when they leave, the Banyan could just give them an item, I guess. So she's if she didn't know that, I would almost think she would stay behind because she is extremely fucking stubborn. That is part of the characterization I inherited. Is she usually just looks people in the eye until they flinch, no matter what happens. But she does have a explainable out in this situation. So I think she's going to. Maybe just help Raiso to some kind of behind a rock or something, and to sit them down so they can, rest with dignity as they bleed out from their missing hand, and just look her in the eye and just say, "You were of much use." It's the highest compliment where she's from.
Literally, I was about to be like, "Damn, the highest compliment."
Your productivity was staggering.
Literally, yeah. She thinks this is a beautiful moment.
It was an honor to serve with you too, soldier.
Maybe we'll see each other again in the next life.
In the next life. Now go! And there is sort of a path you can see, as there is this sort of ubiquitous violence sort of surrounding you right now. There is a path that leads backwards that you can see. And the one remaining member of Raiso's retainers is already starting to follow that path.
Ooh. I wasn't sure if I was ever going to find a use for this, but I do have, because of my kind of warlock, I have something. The flavor here is that it's a earth genie or Tao. It's obviously the banyan tree, but I do get flight. I can just fly, and so I'm thinking if I leave Raiso behind, try running after the retainer, and if someone tries to run up on us, I'm just gonna grab this retainer and fucking spring into the air. I think that's how I'm trying to extract them. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. I mean, I guess I'm just leaving Lilian a stranger behind, not out of malice. I'm just like, none of this is real. I'm just trying to do the right thing. Don't yell at me. Peace.
To be very clear, her words were shouted, so anything General Raiso said could have been heard by stranger.
Okay, good. I'm glad they don't think I'm just being a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Lilian's not thinking anything right now. Fair passed out.
Lilian's never gonna think anything again at this rate.
Holy shit! All right, yeah. If Killings can get away with the retainer, she does so.
Yeah, absolutely. You're able to take to the air. You can absolutely do that. Give me a perception check, actually.
I can do that. 8. That's not good. I'm kind of doing a Superman thing where I'm picking up the retainer and being like, I can show you the world. It's mostly violence.
Yeah, I think with an 8, you're focused on grabbing the retainer and going, so you're not really paying too much attention to a lot of the minutia detail of it. But you are successful in grabbing the retainer and kind of following this path. So I have to ask the question, stranger, what do you do?
Can I just scoop up Lilian in my big mouth and just book it? I do have 50 feet of movement.
I mean, so you're asking me, Dan, a wild question, which is, can I scoop up my ally into my T-Rex mouth and carry them out to safety in it?
Crocodiles do it with their babies all the time.
Of course the answer is yes. Absolutely, you can do that.
Oh, okay, I don't want to stop you. I want everyone to play their character honestly. I just want to say, this is a concentration spell and not a druid thing, so if you're going to take 1,000 attacks of opportunity, and if you switch back with Lilian in your mouth, you're going to need a new mouth.
All right, here's the question. How many opportunity attacks am I taking if I make this run? Because I can do something else.
Actually, I think this is very awesome. I think that is a very cool move to do. And you would think, like, okay, I'm going to take a bunch of attacks of opportunity, but this is the safest way to get Lilian out of here right now. And Faye's, like, unconscious, so, like, time is of the essence. So you're just going to, throw it up to chance. And as soon as attacks start coming towards you, you see General Raiso kind of leap in front and just start taking these attacks. She just starts moving with you as essentially like a living bulwark, just taking all the attacks for you until eventually she's just been shot too many times, stabbed too many times, just enough that she finally goes down. And you just, like, as you can leave, see that, like, the army just swarms on top of her.
Should have went to the desert biome. Come on.
It was just to the left.
Cheesecake never would have done you like this.
There was a sign, desserts this way, war this way, and like right before it happened, some like comical ne'er-do-well switched the signs around.
You know what it was? I think it was established that the war biome was a big desert. So it was just a sign that said dessert and desert, and she didn't know which one was which.
She was like, what's the memory cue for that? S something. Yeah, fuck it. Just went.
That literally was the reason I put them next to each other in season 9. That was the joke. So it's 3 years later, it pays off, and I killed a character who seemed very nice.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with puns, kids. Sketch, I know you're listening. Look what you've done. Stop doing puns.
Look what you've done. Yeah, as you guys escape, the world starts to fade into white, and you find yourselves back inside the banyan tree.
Is Lilian in Stranger's mouth?
No. Well, I mean, no. I was gonna be like, is he still a T-Rex? And I think the answer is no.
He never was a T-Rex. He was a nasty pit.
Yeah.
Lilian's foot's just crammed into Stranger's mouth.
Just ended up there.
Good thing you are a pumpkin. The body horror of human characters doing this to each other could have been really intense.
Mm-hmm.
Stranger's immediate thought once he wakes up is Lilian okay? Does Fair seem like stabilized or?
So I will say this: Faye is not bleeding out. Like there were like wounds that targeted and hit Faye, and like whatever seemed to have happened, but there are not like gashes, like lingering injuries or anything like that. It seems like once you exited the vibe check, the injuries kind of stopped their
Psychosomatic
severity at that point. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Stranger will definitely cast Cure Wounds to try to get them back on their feet.
What happened to my retainer? So I was just flying with them, and then I appeared in the tree, and I'm empty-handed?
Mm-hmm.
No, retainee!
Retainee, no!
I would say Killing's flight, the flavor is wings sprout out of her back, but not feathered or like bat-like, but instead just like the banyan tree's roots in the shapes of wings, and so she's sitting there just flapping them.
There has to be art of an angel that has like tree wings. Like that just has to exist, right?
I think I've seen that Pathfinder monster before.
Yeah.
I think when Stranger casts Cure Wounds, like I think Lillian's going to like startle awake, like mid like yelling out Reso's name and just be like, Reso! What happened? Where are we?
You took a bit of a tumble and a stabbing.
Oh no, tumble stab. Oh, that's the worst kind.
It's a high-level technique, the tumble stab.
They teach you to avoid that when you're doing stage fight training. What happened?
As soon as it's clear that Lilian is okay, Killings is going to look for the item the tree gives us because she is still focused on business. Like, she's not callous, she does check, but it's like, okay, Lilian's speaking, so back to, the task at hand.
Yeah, Miss Killings, you are able to look around, and for a while you don't really seem to find anything. You're like looking, you're like legendary sword of Kal Hamat, or the super gun of Oggo-Bo'doggo or whatever. You're like looking for some like powerful legendary item.
The super gun of Oggo-Bo'doggo. No, I have to write that down. That's coming back.
Yeah, that's next season. But you do eventually find something on the floor.
The dick grinder.
It is small, and it looks like trash, to be honest.
I pick it up. It's mine now.
Yeah. When you pick it up, you see that this looks very similar to one of those sort of metals made of bottle caps and like crushed tin that General Reso had sort of lining her fake military jacket.
Can I roll to know more about this thing? Investigation?
Sure. You can give me an Arcana check.
Oh, Arcana. Cool. That's one of my things.
Mm-hmm.
Boop. 12.
Yeah, 12 isn't great. So I'll say you are not going to have this item's abilities denied from you, but I think you will not get to know what this is until a little bit more time is focused on, so maybe not until the next arc. But this item seems to provide some use in helping others make actions, if that makes sense.
I'm sure it will eventually.
You're able to give orders through it, essentially.
Mm. Oh, she loves that.
Oh, she's gonna micromanage.
Yes.
She gets to micromanage.
I have the magical slack ability. Get back to work, losers. All right. What should I write in my item box?
You could put bottle cap metal, and then I'll detail what it actually does to you after this episode. Now, Lilian, I have to ask fair. You did go down, and this is Dice Funk. A show in which when a character goes down to 0 hit points, they take some kind of lingering or lasting injury of some kind. So what do you think happens to Lilian?
So the very first thought I had is because what was happening in like this vibe check was that like connecting further to Reiso's like despondence over like her continual like companions' deaths, like we would get like levels of exhaustion. And my first thought was just like some kind of permanent like exhaustion.
Oh God, no.
That's a dead character.
That's a dead character. So the next thought was like something like maybe wrong with like, because I got stabbed in the back. So maybe like something wrong with one of my shoulders or like my arms or something.
Yeah. I mean, it could definitely be something like that. We can also sit on it and figure out something after this. But I think something along the lines of like a physical sort of reaction to it is great. Permanent exhaustion is an amazing idea, but you will hate your character for the rest of the game.
Right.
I promise you.
It's just like narratively interesting, mechanically bad. I understand the reaction.
I just lose on all skill checks now.
I
Cool,
lose forever.
cool.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be a disadvantage on Constitution saving throws. Is kind of the closest that I can think of for that. Mm-hmm. That isn't all your skills forever are bad.
Yeah. we can figure that out like after the call, but like in the moment I think Lilian's like getting up from getting healed and like kind of rolling fair shoulders, like just going like, that's smarts. Did anyone get a closer look at that last person that was with Reiso? They looked familiar.
Retainy?
Yeah, Retainy. Is that what you're calling them?
Maybe a history check to see if they're familiar.
I was preoccupied with eating people. I didn't get a chance to roll.
You can roll, yeah, absolutely.
History check. That's a 23.
So 13. I defer to Lilian.
Yeah, Lilian. So it is tough for you to exactly place it, but there was something familiar about that retainer that you kind of connect to the person who told you to do this mission, who the ghost, like Amalgam, that spirit who sort of took the forefront on it. You sense that might have been that individual.
Oh, the person I talked to in the Ghost Union.
Oh, yeah. Wow, the dice knew you were the only one who met them, and it would have been weird for someone else to notice that.
Yeah, so you absolutely can pick up on that. You can fill in the gaps if you need to. It seems as though that person did make it to Banyan Island to bring back General Reiso, but died shortly thereafter. But you were successful. You completed the vibe check. You got yourself an item. Things are looking up. Things are looking great for the vibe checkers.
Things are coming up, Lilian.
That's suspicious. Nobody move. We are in mortal fucking danger right now. Killings, who has been stabbed and slashed and bit and had those weird feet creatures on her, just sits down on the ground and just says, I'm going to eat some banyan fruit until I feel better, and I suggest you all do the same. We don't know where that motherfucking Captain Cassidy is right now, and I will not expose my flank while I have so much as a nail broken. I can't afford such a disadvantage.
I'm not sure that man has the capacity to stab someone in the back based off of what I've seen.
Oh yeah, you're getting married soon? You fucking simp, what are you talking about? You've spoken to him 3 times.
Yes, and he seems to have a stick so far up his ass that I'm not sure he can bend over.
Yeah, which is why he won't switch sides. He thinks he's so fucking chivalrous that there's no way he's gonna not be a fucking Slater lifer.
Well, he seemed distressed after what he saw when he did his own little check. Speaking of, I believe we have some matters to discuss here.
Yeah. Okay, we're all sitting inside the loving embrace of the banyan. I'm rolling hit dice unless I'm told not to with Song of Rest for Lilian.
Yeah, I was gonna roll some hit dice too. Song of Rest.
I also want to note that for you, the characters, you are currently hearing the soft patter of rain coming from outside, and it makes a rather wondrous sound while you're inside of the banyan tree for the rain that's hitting inside and kind of like bouncing around this sort of hollow shell that you're inside.
That's nice. That's very beautiful. If we get jumped, it'll be quite a set piece.
The stranger quickly looks outside to make sure there isn't a hurricane coming on the horizon.
Give me a nature check.
Fuck.
Okie dokie.
13.
22.
You said a nature check?
Nature check.
I failed that.
Is that your third fail?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Is Miss Killings participating?
17 on nature.
Yeah, 17 and 22 are amazing. Lilian fails, but gets the third fail on the rabbit mask, so you got a locked-in crit just waiting for you. And I want to say that you have heard word that the rain in this biome has a particular kind of feature to it, in that it tends to sort of relax people a little bit. It's sort of like a chilling kind of like, when I say chilling, not like cold, but like chill vibes kind of rain. Like it is known for having that sort of effect to it.
Oh, the vibe storms.
The vibe storms, yes.
As foretold in the previous season. I will say, just because the audience can't see my sheet, without Song of Rest, I would not have been able to heal back up to full with my hit dice. Like I was spent the rest of this arc bleeding a bit, but thanks to Lilian's Bard ability, I am full back to 59. So just a fun little math fact for you out there.
That's good to hear. I'm still not full health, but like I used the rest of my hit die in the Song of Rest, and I'm at 35.
Awesome.
35, huh? Woof.
Yep, my max is 51.
I got hit once as a person, so I just needed to kill that one chunk of damage.
Oh, look at me. I'm stranger. I have cool animal guys.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Killing says, respect. Love what you did to those guys with your mouth. Top mouth work. Some just real dude on mouth stuff that I love to see.
Why has no one told me I have top mouth work? I've never gotten that specific compliment before.
Lilian's just like, man, stranger, I'm jealous that you can just like be creatures and then not be bleeding out after the creature is gone.
Well, it still hurts.
Well, yeah. But like then you get like your normal body back. I just have the one.
You should consider perhaps changing that. Maybe a new line of study. I could turn you into a monster if you'd like.
Do you have a spell for that?
Yes, of course.
I'll consider it. That sounds cool.
I find it can be a bit... You sure?
Yeah, I'm really dead set on finding the super gun of Oggo-Bo'doggo now. So that's kind
so
of
you don't want top mouth work.
No, I know. I'm really much more of the other end of that. I find people who are really mouth artists, and I put them to work.
Is that a Miss Killing quote or an Alston quote?
Oh man, I'm such a good actor. No one can tell.
Jesus. You have so many already. You have so many good like episode title options already.
I don't know where we got here. Killings is eating a big banyan fruit. She offers it to the two of you.
Stranger will take it and then feed it to his bird because he's okay for the moment. But then say, yes, anyway, we do have some things to discuss. Lilian, you made a deal already, but we should still take a vote.
Yeah, we should talk about it and just like I guess Lilian will like take Killings' offer, at least because it's like, oh, like it is a gesture of goodwill, question mark.
Yeah, it's just a fig. Don't read too much into it. Watch
Just
out
a
for
fig.
wasps. There might be, actually that wasps are obligate, symbiotic creatures with fig trees. Fig trees can't reproduce without wasps. That's just true.
Oh, interesting. I'll take that fig, and I guess to start discussion, like I don't see any reason why, like even without the deal we made, it seems like Raiso lived pretty, like, let's start again. It seems like Raiso lived a life that was pretty devoted to the people around her, and she seemed like a pretty nice person for the bit that we got to see.
And you believe that is why she should come back?
I think she should get to come back because she was, like, trying real hard to do good by the people around her and also just cut down real brutally. You see that? You see that, like, fucking field of like, empty zombie soldier things? Like, that's no way to fucking go out. That sucks.
I was holding her hand when I got cut off. I'm gonna have some nightmares about that. Do we have I guess we have the grief counselor I can talk to. What's
Yeah,
that guy?
Pofo. Oh, also, it is really hard to ignore the fact that this is technically not real when you see shit like that happen, you know?
Yeah, no, there's a whole HR process we have to get in. We're gonna get fucking sued. Negligent infliction of emotional distress. Well, everyone's liable. We need waivers stat.
There is something else I saw while we were in this vibe check. She watched all of her friends die. The person who brought her body part here died. She has no support group and nowhere to go. Is bringing her back such a gift to her in that case?
I mean, obviously not right now with the storm coming in, with White being a pain in our ass, but like after that, Banyan's usually on the lower side of the threat levels. Maybe we could offer her this place to stay. We'll get him back on her feet. She could meet some new people. Like, it's obviously terrible she lost so many people on the way, but like I'm sure that they would want her to live as long a life as she could.
Lilian, you've never experienced survivor's guilt, have you?
What's survivor's guilt?
Everyone in this medieval society is really well versed in therapy language. We're all talking about holding space. My lord, I must pay the grain tithe, and also you must check your privilege.
Lilian came from a world with community theater. I think therapy made it over there.
That's true. I just think it's funny. D&D always mixes like ye old stuff with just like. Anyway, I'm gonna go check Twitter.
I think Lilian, like from Lilian's perspective, I don't think Faye's heard of survivor's guilt before, because I think fair perception of like war and violence and stuff is still like very like there's good guys and bad guys and like it sucks to fight, but like if you survive that's good and if you don't survive that's bad.
Yeah, Killing says, in my home, we call that winner whining. It's when you win and you won't stop whining.
Lilian, imagine someone came to your home, killed all of your friends, and then left you for dead, and then you finally died. But you get to come back. Great for you. None of your friends are. None of your family. And this is a reward, such a sweet thing you've done for her. You've sentenced her to life.
I guess that's...
When I spoke to her in the vibe check, she did not seem keen on the idea of coming back around.
Killings will say that we promised to see each other again, actually. So maybe you didn't know her like I knew her.
Really, what do you know of her?
Well, she was really cool and had one hand and this bottle cap
Eventually.
medal. Is it metal or medal with a D?
Medal, like a Medal of Honor.
Okay, that's what I wrote, just to make sure. So yeah, I know all those things.
And this passes your criteria to come back, Miss Killings?
Well, I'm waiting for you to ask about my criteria. We said we'd revisit this.
Then do tell. You said something about what was his name? Mr. Westerly?
Yes. Growing up in the civilization biome, we were put to work at a very young age as the ruthless, cutthroat world of neighborhood lemonade stands. Even children couldn't be idle. The streets would literally eat you. I needed security for my operation. I actually invented a lemonade that kills you instantly. It was very successful. But I adopted...
A big corporation bought it up immediately.
Yeah, no, that's how I got my foot in the door at Slater Mechanics. My parents were very proud. But out in the dangerous streets, I had to have some protection. And pets are not looked well upon in our society. It's kind of a luxury of the lazy and the soft. But a guard dog is a very useful thing, a very pragmatic thing. I named him Frank Westerly after an old hero. They tell you about stories about him using his wits and his games to best his enemies. And for years, this dog protected my operations as I, ran my little business and eventually found my way to the big time, the big show, the president himself. I was at his right hand. But my dog, Frank, got older and older and, became less useful. He couldn't walk. He couldn't hold down food. It was very sad. And eventually, I had to think about the end of life for the first time. No one I knew had ever died before. But before he could die of old age, the streets gobbled him up. He wasn't useful. And the land recycled him. And I was furious because I didn't have Frank anymore. But when I heard about this biome, this banyan tree, this riddlefish, I thought about bringing, a tuft of fur out here and bringing him back. And it really, ate at me for a long time because I knew if I brought him back, he might be alive again, but he would still be very old. The Well of Resurrection doesn't reverse time. And so I had to come to terms with my deep sadness, my anger, my grief, and realize that I wanted to bring him back not for him, who couldn't sleep without pain, who couldn't, run or have fun like he used to. It was for me. I was being selfish. And that's when you ask me if I think of the Banyan and Zolfo operations like Hyalea, no, I don't think of them like healthcare the way she did, I guess. I think of them as a deeply selfish way for people to process their grief and trauma. People come here to make themselves feel better, not to help their loved ones. And the queue is only going to get longer and longer and longer, and eventually there will come a time that when people bring a body part to Banyan Island, they do so to say goodbye. There will be no expectation that you will ever see this person again. At this point, Killings looks to Lilian and says, this is a brief window when you could bring, say, Needles here, bring her back, and then spend time with her. But that is going to end. And the hotel that Hyalea and Boyce built will not be for family members waiting to see their loved ones again. It will be a resort for those brought back because everything else they've ever known and loved is gone. Their homes will be gone, their families will be gone, all their possessions will be dispersed to the wind. There will be nowhere else for them to go. So this island is going to be a place people come, they say their goodbyes, they get closure, and then they go back to their lives, never think about it again. And the people we bring back will live here on a tropical resort in peace forever, which I believe is the way it was intended. The war god made the war biome. The cat god made the cat biome. And the peace god made Banyan Island. And that's what we need to turn it into. My criterion is that we bring back people who would increase peace, and we don't bring back people who would decrease peace.
Stranger pauses for a moment, looking quite thoughtful, and says, I think I might share something with your view of this place. There is much merit to it, though I think it might not be a resort so much as a tomb for ghosts brought back. The question I would ask you then is, does it matter if the person wants to come back? Because I'm not sure Reso would want to.
Yes, I think that will be one of the many things a vibe checker will be responsible for, is finding out if they want to come back. I understand that Reso was weighed down by terrible sadness, but it was because she was fighting for her life. If she could be at peace, I think she would want to be back with her friends, which is why, and I am explicitly forbidden from advocating for Hylia when she's gone, that you need to make those decisions on your own. But I will say where her policy platform differs from Bishop Bittercreek, who would take over if she is not brought back, is that Hylia would send emissaries, clerics and paladins, an adventuring party on a noble quest to recover the bodies of Reso's retainers and bring them to the island to be with her. Because Hylia does not care how long the queue is, she thinks everyone needs to be vibe checked, while Bishop Bittercreek is materially invested in only vibe checking people with a reasonable chance of being brought back, with having the queue as small as possible and bringing back as many people as possible, because resurrection is the justification for the existence of his entire organization and his power. Does that make sense?
It does. But again, I am not so sure what you're doing is a reward for these people so much as a punishment. I understand your view that this place will be a resort, a place to live out in peace. But that assumes that they want to be here. But what other option would they have if, as you said, everything they know is gone? You're creating a gilded cage.
While Miss Killings was going through, like, her reasoning and, like, what she thinks of this queue, I think Lilian is, like, just kind of sitting there and nodding and trying to understand to the best of her ability. And, like, when Faye gets a chance to speak, Faye will say, like, so if people will eventually not be able to see the folks that they're bringing back, it kind of feels like you're not even really bringing anyone back to begin with. And
Yep.
I'm not sure how I feel about that. Was I selfish for bringing my friend back?
Would you have done it if you never got to see them?
I'm not sure.
Killings looks at you. I can't believe Killing exists to be on her moral high horse. What an exciting new experience. But she says, yes, if you only did it because you got to reap the benefits, that's inherently selfish. That would get you on a promotion track at Slater Mechanics. Here, I think Big Papa Hialeah would be disappointed in you because it's not about you. It's not about us as the vibe checkers. We are just tools of the banyan tree to do its miraculous work, and you have got to do some ayahuasca and obliterate your ego for Lilian.
If it is known that the person that is being submitted to the queue will not come back in your lifetime, I could posit that is in a way resolving you of any responsibility to that person. You're saying, I have done my part, I have given them over. What happens next does not matter, because it is not on me. That in and of itself could be seen as selfish.
Sure. It's also just a tool for giving people closure so they can return to their lives. I mean, listen, if anyone thinks that there's no point to doing something unless you personally benefit from it, maybe we should just burn the tree down and go home. Because at the end of the day, none of us are going to become, rich and famous from this. That we're doing a public service. So I am not a cleric. I am open to the argument we shouldn't be doing this. That this is all a nasty perversion of the natural order. That White is correct, and we should let him smash our shit, if that's what you want to say. But if we're doing this, then we do it for the people we bring back.
I think back when Needles had died and I saw her there and I knew about the tree. I think if I knew that it would take possibly longer than my lifetime, in the moment, I would have done it anyways, because that was the first time I've ever seen someone die. That's the first time I've ever seen a dead body. And I thought, what a terrible thing to die before you can live as much life as you possibly can and enjoy all the things that life has to give you. And now that I've been doing this, I've been vibe checking people, I do still think that the most important thing about all this is just giving these people a chance to do what they couldn't because something cut them down short, something made their lives worse until they died and they didn't have any say in it. I want these people to come back and live life to the fullest and enjoy themselves and be better off than they were before. I want this to help them. If it's not going to help them, I'm not sure if I would want them to be back. I don't want them to be stuck. I don't want them to just not have anyone at all. I think the queue going on forever sounds like an awful complication in all of this. I wish we could just do it faster, but we're only people. We only live so long.
Yeah, if you want to brutally cut down the size of the queue and institute more barriers, then you should not bring Hialeah back, because I think that's Bishop Bittercreek's platform. So keep that in mind. The other important difference between the two, if you're keeping track, is that Hialeah believes in going through the process herself, while Bishop Bittercreek actually has withheld the knowledge that you can go into the Well of Resurrection alive and the effects of that. So if you, Lilian and Stranger, want to be vibe checked and revived, that will be off limits to you under a wet administration, where it will be not mandatory, but it will be assumed you will want that in a dry administration.
The way you are proposing Hialeah's vision, it is inefficient. It is, in my view, to an extent, pointless. But I believe it may be the only correct way to do this.
Yes, I will not only admit it's inefficient, I will say that is part of the point. I believe she would describe it as meditative. It is meant to instill reflection and thought, and not to be an endless march to efficiency and progress. That's why she was willing to die to stop President Slater from modernizing the process, from mechanizing or automating it. That's how much she believed in that. So all I can do is quote from her work here. I showed you the manuscript for Lights, Camera, Lilian, the piece she was working on about you, where she compared, your artistic talents, acting and writing. And she said that the first time she got a letter from a fan saying that Sproutling scholars changed their life, that they were in a dark place, and that it helped them and made them smile and really enriched their life. Hylia considered her work in this world complete. She was one life, and she made another life better, and that evened out the scales. Everything after that is gravy. It's all bonus points because she already won. And that is how she sees the island. Someone died early, tragically, horribly. That is enough suffering for anyone. And now everything after that is just a bonus round. Just a beautiful tropical island for you to enjoy with not a care in the world for as long as you want it, because you put in your time. It's all extra after that. It's a encore performance, and winking at Lilian.
So, ever since Hylia died, I've been thinking, I'm not sure if I get to know people as well as I should, because what she wrote there feels very close to what I think about when I'm putting on performances, and if someone enjoyed it, then I did something right, and I just want to do right by as many people as possible. You can see Lilian, tearing up.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and to the matter of General Reso, I believe she sought peace, and I believe that she could find it here. And my single criterion, would she increase the peace or decrease the peace? And she would increase it by my estimation. And under a Hylia administration, we would send an adventuring party of clerics and paladins to recover her retainers at our personal cost, so she could spend her encore with them. I vote yes.
You have a fantasy of something, but you yourself are a pragmatic and efficient person.
Mm-hmm. If someone paid me more, I would burn the tree down, yeah.
Well, I wasn't getting to that, but yes, I'm aware.
Okay. I hope someone talks her out of it. I do want her to come around. It just needs to get there organically.
Say General Reso came into this queue later on. Body doesn't get checked for hundreds of years. There is no chance to find her compatriots' body parts then, logistically. It simply isn't. You're looking for a needle in a needle stack.
Correct. There will be difficulties and uncertainties, and that's why we have a bunch of people working through it like us. If it were simple and automated, we just let President Slater come in here and build some machines to do it. So what you're describing is a feature, not a bug, which is a metaphor we all understand because software exists.
Software exists in the progress biome, ?
I think there is benefits to both sides. However, I believe that this is the... I don't know how to phrase this. With this option, you will by far bring back less people. Mothers will not see their children, and vice versa. They'll be brought back, potentially, centuries in the future, and that in turn could harm them. Less people will come back in total, but there is a certain, how would I say, moral due diligence being done. The other option allows for expedience, but is not necessarily comprehensive, nor is it moral, I suppose.
I don't want people to get rushed through this, because if lots of people get sent through here, it feels like a higher chance that more of them will be unhappy about being brought back. So I think if I gotta pick my poison, I guess the one that takes longer to kick in, that could lead to more people being happy with the situation they're given afterward, instead of people being dejected and unhappy about not getting the chance to try in the first place. I think people deserve to try dealing with their grief, being selfish, bringing someone back who deserves it, all of those things. Any of those things, if this is going to keep going on, I want it to be because we're trying to do what's best for these people, and I don't think trying to rush things is best for these people. And if I have to take responsibility for getting Raiso up to speed with things, maybe introducing her to the Ghost Union, getting her some people that she can rely on, some grief counseling, then yeah, if I have to take the time to do that, I will.
So then I believe it is a yes for bringing Raiso back.
Sounds like it.
Killings looks at her notes. Stranger, have you said no or abstained from every vote?
Yes, I have.
Killings just writes something down. puts it in her bag.
Pumpkin bitch.
I asked you once, why does someone deserve to come back? I have yet to hear a moving criteria.
Yeah, because no one deserves anything, stranger. I agree. And Killing stands up, grabs her sword.
Yeah, and then they'll exit the tree.
Yep.
Yeah, it seems as though the vibe storm has mostly passed. It is like a very light drizzle at this point, if anything, and you have free reign to go where your heart desires.
Oh, actually, hold on. I realized Stranger was pushing for someone to come back. He was pushing for Antonio Claudio.
I don't know if was that ever recorded. Is there any conversation which you guys determined if Antonio Claudio comes back?
We started to discuss it, and then Hylia exploded.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't. Yeah, there's been an official vote on that one.
But yeah, I think at some point you could talk about that to someone. Maybe you could just do it. You could just say, you were thinking about that one. I don't know. As we walk back.
Yes, Stranger will say that to Miss Killings, that we did not vote for Antonio Claudio and Hook, but I was considering the option of bringing him back more than past checks.
Why is that? Hylia was very clear in her notes that she just was a no, just a full page, capital N-O.
This is a tree of second chances. And in his final moments, he seemed to have a realization. His follies, his mistakes, how he dragged his brother down with him. if one of our purposes here is to give someone a second chance to see how they will act when they come back, I believe he is a viable candidate.
Oh, so Stranger thinks you should only remake bad movies because they have so much potential. Or we're out here trying to remake good movies because we like them so much. I get it. I can vibe with that.
I see no reason compared to someone like, well, Slater. The reasoning I was given from you, from Captain Cassidy, is that he will do great things. He's a master of progress. And everyone is a puzzle piece to him. A cog in his grand clock.
Also trains. I don't know what a train is. Everyone keeps talking about it.
As you guys start to approach the gig, you see a crowd gathered outside of the front.
Awesome. I'm sure this is
All
good.
right, let's see what's going on.
Can I give it insight to see how they're acting?
Sure, absolutely.
24.
19.
I think you, both of you still have a level of exhaustion at least.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
That is true. Insight again.
24.
Holy balls.
21, so
Yeah.
it would be 19.
24, 19 is is Miss Killings participating?
Nope. She just she's
She doesn't care.
Nope. Jericho runs up and she's like, "Did you miss me while I was gone? Were you a good boy? Were you a good boy?"
Yeah, so Stranger and Lilian can see that this crowd gathered in front is Commander Cassidy's entourage, his army, you could say, with Commander Cassidy standing in front, kind of looking in your direction, like he is waiting to meet your gaze. And then Harvest standing off to the side with his scythe nearby, just kind of resting on it, watching on.
Oh dear.
Just, I will meet Cassidy's gaze directly and ask what is going on.
Killings has the sword on her shoulder, smiling. She's like, "Finally, an excuse to kill this man. Let's try to push this conversation into a situation where I'm forced to defend myself."
It is time that we had a dialogue, vibe checkers.
Well, there's a lot more people here than two. Dialogue, obviously. Die means two. Log, talking. So there's like a million of us. I mean, I know you don't really read books, Cassidy.
Miss Killings, would you like to take a 5?
Just Miss Killings, I think being pedantic about
I'm going to mute your
wordplay
Slack now.
should maybe
No, I have
save.
I have the bottle cap medal. I will not be silenced.
I will move forward. I will keep staring directly at Cassidy and go, dialogue about what? Trying to vibe check on your own in our tree while we weren't around?
The future of this island.
The future where we all have to work together to stop a living storm from knocking everything down and killing everyone here?
You're gonna have to use smaller words, Lilian.
Commander Cassidy just kind of gives Miss Killings a little bit of a look and then just turns back and he goes, the future where that might not be enough. And perhaps there is only one way to defeat the giant.
And what is this one way?
Bringing back President Slater.
And what will bringing him back do that will help us in the immediate moment? We have time to get ready for the giant coming back because he is currently underwater and hopefully no one's attacking him down there.
He is stronger than everyone on this island combined.
Why don't you marry him?
Tell me, Cassidy, what did you see in your vibe check?
So Cassidy, as you ask that, he kind of deeply sighs. And he says, I got to see who President Slater is, and I am not necessarily swayed by the character of the president. However, if this island is to have a future, he may in fact represent the best chance possible.
Wait, I thought you couldn't vibe check the same person twice, or is it only? This is Killings looking at her vegetable companions, who she feels she has been denied information by. Is it only you can't vibe check the same body part twice or the same person twice? I feel like this is critical, need to know information.
Well, you also fucked up that vibe check so royally, we kind of don't know, I guess.
It is true that you kind of made it impossible for us to tell whether it was body part or person. So I guess if Cassidy was able to go in there, then that answers one of our questions at least.
Oh, they can point fingers all day. Who ruined what vibe check? You know, it's just there's a lot of blame to go around.
That one.
There's no finger pointing. That's just documenting historical fact.
Oh, history is written by the winners, though. Just throwing. She doesn't know what that means in this context.
I wish to see the resolve of the vibe checkers.
Okay, I'll translate from dumbass. Resolve usually means like fighting.
She's not wrong.
Yeah.
You believe that Slater is necessary, but it sounds like only for the purpose of defeating this giant. If this giant wasn't here, would you bring him back?
An interesting question. I'm afraid I can't truly give an answer to that. As someone who works underneath him, I would feel an obligation to see his return. But if I were a supposedly neutral observer like you all, it might be more difficult considering some of the things I learned about him. However, he is potentially the best choice here. And I need to see the resolve that you all have, not just to see about White, but to know if you can survive what this island will attract.
Listen, tall, dark, and horny, you don't have to sell me on fighting to show we're better than you. I'll throw it down right now. My question is, you in what army? Because 21 on 3 doesn't seem extremely fair, and Harvest is standing there menacingly. No one's spoken to Harvest yet, and Harvest hasn't said anything, and that makes me uneasy.
Oh, don't worry there, Daddy-O. I'm just enjoying listening to all the back and forth, the regaling conversation. It's quite fascinating.
Stranger waves at his brother.
Hey, little brother, how you doing?
Oh, quite well. Lilian, not so much. The fair got stabbed in the back.
I certainly did.
Oh, well, ain't that a bite?
The stranger will turn to Cassidy and say, yes, Slater is a powerful being, a queen on the chessboard, so to speak. And he's going to reach into his robes and pull out like a wriggling centipede. And he has it like crawl over his vines, and it starts to like eat at some of like the smaller beetles and bugs in his like viney body, right? He goes, this centipede here is in a way akin to White, a singular force, powerful, terrifying, murder on legs. Now my crow here could gobble it up in a moment, kill it very easily. Or, and Stranger watches as the smaller beetles realize what is occurring, and start to rip it apart and pull its legs off as it still lives and tries to eat them. We pull White apart bit by bit. The Queen is powerful, but there are other pieces in play.
Hialeah would have loved that. Killings Whispers. I'm not much of a metaphor person, but I just want to let you know. I'll tell her about that when she gets back. If she comes back.
Okay, can you stop threatening Cassidy for like 1 minute?
I really... No. What? I'm going to fuck this guy's whole shit up.
Well, it seems like maybe he's willing to not bring your boss back.
Mm-hmm. She's like 5'4", he's like 6'8". I'm gonna get this guy.
Okay, this piece of shit's ass. Uh-huh. It's real Grim and Mandy kind of vibes. So Cassidy is going to look towards you all and is going to say, just me, just a fight against me. I had a discussion with your brother before you arrived that none of these soldiers will be interfering, and they agreed to accept the result, whatever that might mean for my life.
Your life? Oh my god, visibly horny.
If I lose, I could not possibly expect to be given mercy unless you deem it necessary. I simply need to see if this is the best option this island has, and make peace with the consequences I am bringing afterwards. And he is going to grab this handle that has been sitting on his hip for a while and is going to kind of flick it. And with that, this long crackling electricity starts to form out of this handle and turn into a long, sort of hard, light whip that just lies against the ground.
Oh my gosh, how much do you think Mastodon would charge to use the song Island when he pulls out the sword? It would be so good right now. Holy shit. Oh my god.
See, I was thinking to the audience, you should get Fury Sparks from the Tales of Vesperia soundtrack lined up.
Yeah, any of Tales battle music would go hard.
Yeah.
Is it 3-on-1?
I believe it would be only fair if all of you came at me.
Yes. Can I get advantage? I want to kill this guy.
Are we rolling initiative?
Yeah, I guess the only other thing would be to set up the stakes if that's something you want to do. In his mind, the answer is like, if you fail, who knows? But, I mean, you haven't explicitly asked what happens in that case.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, I will then. What happens if we fail?
Killings is like, I'll be dead, I don't care.
We proceed with the plan as was instructed to us by President Slater. We will consort or discuss with your Bishop Bittercreek to ensure the president's revival, and anyone who gets in the way will be met with force to ensure that they do not intervene. Casualties will be kept, ideally, to none, but we will do what we need to see that the president is returned.
This is the Bitter Creek regime made manifest.
Okay, so if we win, what's that? Do we get to stop you from bringing your president back? Do you agree to keep helping us even if we don't let you bring him back?
If you win and deem it necessary to spare my life, then yes, I will do what I can to assist you, as I will have found some level of purpose here separate than reviving President Slater.
Yeah, because the first vibe check was botched, and the second one was unsupervised. If we're going to do a third one, at which point we need to put a cap, we need to put a limit on how many times the same person can go through, because you can only have so many, like mistakes happen before it's like, okay, who's fucking with this? Who's fucking me right now?
Would suggest not allowing a third check of President Slater.
It would be a boring podcast. It would not advance anything.
No, I agree. I'm just putting things on the table.
He is he is going to say to that, I do not quite understand all of the mechanics of your vibe check, but the president is alive in there. And he is impatient.
Yeah, Killings wouldn't know this, but Hylia realized he could pierce the veil of space and time and was dangerous, so...
Yeah, I believe Hylia said something about making... She said that to us, right? About making a deal with
before
Slater.
she exploded.
Yeah, yep. Before she literally exploded in front of our faces, she said something about making a deal with Slater, which I suppose, if he is somehow cognizant while still being dead, makes sense. And I do believe that's not a good thing. Of the many people that I have vibe checked before, I don't think that's ever been a thing before, and I would rather, personally, I believe that when you see a body get thrown into a machine and just spurt blood, that doesn't seem like the kind of person that people who will be happy to be back for any reason except to make that happen again.
Give me an insight check as a party.
Lilian, I crave violence.
And disadvantage, right?
Yep.
Still with disadvantage, that's 22.
So a 10, an 8, and a 22 is unfortunately going to be a fail. I will note that there is something that it seems as though Cassidy hasn't talked about. There's something there, but you really can't glean like what information might still be had. He's ready for this fight at this point.
19 on initiative. Woo! She wants to go. The dice know.
2.
11.
That's so funny. For the audience, I have an initiative bonus of fucking 0. Of zilcho. This is just pure spite. It's not rational. It's not reasonable. He's never done anything to her directly. It's just his smug face and his stupid honor and his dumb family that he loves and cherishes. His wife and their love of Hylia's books they share.
All those dog birthday parties he plans, motherfucker.
This is important. Killings loves dogs. That's her one weakness. Yeah. So if Cassidy was a dog lover, like in a way she could see, it would change everything.
Hey, you know what? I think maybe Cassidy's maybe a little bit upset, or Killings is a little bit upset because what was Westerly? Loyal, a stalwart guard dog. Mm-hmm. What is Mr. Cassidy? Loyal, a stalwart defender of his employer.
Well, maybe not loyal. So this is my concern. This is Austin's concern, maybe not Killings, is that he was such an honorable knight. He would be like, well, my employer might be a psycho who feeds people to machines, but I promised I would do this, so I have to be loyal. But if he was like, no, I saw the dude's soul and it was icky, that's, maybe loyalty isn't the number one trait. So.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Miss Killings, you are up. Your mortal enemy. I like to think that there was I don't know if there was a ready, set, go, but you were the second you were off the you knew exactly when the snap was going to happen.
Yeah. It's an improbable, mathematically silly initiative where she won against all odds. It's just a flurry of Eldritch Blasts. So that's 13, 10, fuck me, come on. Don't do me like this. Crit!
The crit will hit.
Yeah, okay, that was close. I'm sorry about who I am as a person. 19 damage. So actually, what's funny is the first two were Eldritch Blast, and the other one was my bonus action as an investiture of the Chain Master, I think it's called. It's my companion ability. Yeah, investment of the Chain Master. So she shoots 2 Eldritch Blasts. Cassidy can, dodge or deflect them easily, and then just shooting pain as fucking from behind him, Jericho comes in with the stab. And it's just Hell yeah.
Never knew what to expect. At the end of your turn, legendary action 16 against Miss Killings.
That hits my AC big time.
That's going to be 11 damage to Miss Killings.
All right, so you're attacking at range, or did you just run up on me?
He has a long whip, so he is striking from far away.
All right, good to know. Important.
All right, Stranger, it is your turn.
Okay, I'm going to cast Guardian of Nature as a bonus action to transform myself into a primal beast. I did this during the Barbarella fight, so I get advantage on strength-based attack rolls. I do extra damage on hit, and yeah. So I'm gonna just cast that for reference. And then I am going to turn into a giant snake, and I am going to roll up on Cassidy and try to restrain him.
I thought you calling Barbarella was like an in-universe mistake Stranger was making, but this is just you, Dan.
Yeah, it's because I keep thinking about Barbarella.
Yeah, the Jane Fonda movie that we're all huge fans of.
Wait, hold on, are we not thinking of, what was the Pamela Anderson animated show?
I think it's probably the same character.
Was that Boobarella?
As has been very clear, I'm very bad at remembering names and pronouncing them correctly.
Oh no, that was Stripperella. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's a parody of Barbarella.
26. Or 25 to hit.
25 is a hit.
Okay.
15 damage.
And they have to make... they just are restrained. Until they escape my grapple.
Okay. He is going to burn one of his legendary resistances to escape that grapple.
Okay.
Okay, Lilian's turn. I'm going to cast Inflict Wounds, so I'm going to see if that hits.
21 is to AC.
Yes.
Then yes, that's a hit.
All right, that's a hit. Lilian's fucking swooses up on him with fair, sword, and, it bursts with that, 18 necrotic damage.
Gotcha. All right, at the end of your turn, another attack against Lilian. 12. Does that hit your AC?
It does not.
Gotcha. All right, it is going to be Cassidy's turn, and I think he is turning his attention towards this primal nature monster, essentially. I assume there's a pumpkin still involved.
Yeah, it's his classic big pumpkin maw on a vine body. He's snake moding. He's snake maxing.
Snake maxing. All right, he is going to go all out against Stranger, so it is going to be 16 and 17 against your AC.
Yep.
Both of those hit?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm a snake. I have 12 armor in this form.
All right, that's going to be 39 damage as he hits you. He hits you with the whip and then channels a divine smite into it.
It's a good thing this isn't real. Stranger hisses at him. Stranger hates paladins so fucking much. So while he might respect Cassidy, he fucking hates fighting him.
Yeah, that is his turn. We're gonna go back up to Miss Killings.
I believe I have failed because that's technically 2 hits, right?
Yes.
Okay, I lose my special super form.
Excellent. All right. Hi, Leo.
Nope.
Apprentice. It's your turn.
A great way to backspace there verbally. Perfect. All right, Eldritch Blast. Crit! Eldritch Blast, 26.
You really were born to kill this man.
16 for my familiar. 16 hit?
16 does not hit. 26 and 28 do.
All right, I'm going fucking sicko mode. She is so messed up about this. I don't know how this is gonna work out, but I feel like if we do spare him, her turn in her character will be allying with Cassidy and realizing he's just a normal guy and she's been so fucking weird. That's just it's so embarrassing.
What the corporate rat race does to a girl.
Yeah. All right, so that's going to be 25 damage. So we're fighting in front of the gig. Everyone's like watching. There's a big crowd, and she's hot dogging. She's like holding this paint sword in front of her, and it's creating like a line of paint, like Epic Mickey, and she's running up it, like making platforms as she like circles Cassidy and like rains down blasts on him. Just completely unnecessary.
Yeah, one attack will swing out though at you. 27.
Ooh, big time hit. She swears in Infernal, which is a great look.
8 damage.
All right.
All right, Stranger, it is your turn.
Okay, because I can technically use my racial abilities while in this form, he's going to use his scary teleport to try to scare Cassidy.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. You use that at the end of the Bodak arc to talk to President Slater. You scary teleported up to him.
Oh, I didn't mean to roll that. You just need to give me a save. Let me just look up what the type is. That is Wisdom save.
Oh, you sure it's not a con save?
It's a Wisdom save.
Okay, 11.
He is terrified of me.
He is going to burn another legendary resistance to overcome that fear.
Okay, that's 2, right?
That is 2 down.
If I had successfully stolen his weapon while he was in the vibe check, well, how would he be fighting us right now? Just the punches?
With his arms. Yeah,
Okay.
he would have exactly Henry Cavill reloaded his guns and got in there.
Sick.
Yeah, Stranger's going to try to constrict him again. 12. I'm assuming that misses.
12 is a miss, unfortunately.
All right, that's the end of my turn.
All right, legendary action against you. 20.
Yep.
11 damage.
Yep, I'm still in this form, but just barely.
All right, Lilian, it is your turn.
All right, I'm going to try to just fucking hit this guy with the inflict wounds again. Let's see.
Damn, Lilian's rolling real high during this, so yeah, that's a hit.
Yeah, it's 11 necrotic damage, just swinging at him again, just fucking trying to go nuts on him. And then
All right.
I looked at what the Tale of the Aster does, and it's not very combat relevant, so instead I'm going to lend a bardic inspiration to killings.
All right, end of your turn. Whip will come at you. Crit!
Fuck!
That's okay. He doesn't do a ton of damage. 18 damage.
Okay.
How is Lilian doing?
Still up.
Okay, that's the important thing. It is going to be Cassidy's turn, and he is going to swing his whip at Stranger once more.
Okay.
It's going to be 26. It's just
Strangely,
one
that
attack.
one misses.
Huh, weird. Well, quirk of the system.
I wonder how many times we make that joke. Like, probably every other episode, right? For 10 years?
I think that it's obligated for any D&D podcast to make that joke.
It's going to be 25 radiant damage to Stranger.
Okay, so that means I'm knocked out of this form and I take 15 real big boy damage.
Big boy damage.
Big boy damage.
And on that point, you'll see Cassidy's hand will start to glow when he begins to move it towards his body.
Is this bitch healing himself?
He's doing lay on hands.
That's his turn. It is Miss Killian's turn.
Seeing Cassidy begin to heal himself, this enrages Killings. She grinds down the paint rail she paints as she slides to him and slams sword into him and casts Blight, her most fucked up spell. So Constitution save, and it's going to be 8d8.
Constitution saving throw, you say?
Yeah, he has a hefty boy. Probably got some meaty Constitution.
Not when you roll a 4. That is a fail, I believe.
Nope. Suck a sage. 32 damage.
32. Wow. I think he is going to burn his last legendary resistance to save against that.
Oh, damn. So, yeah, she uses the sword like a needle to inject noxious paint into his body, like, black and green veins, and he just flexes so hard he sprays it back out.
Yeah. I think he's going to attempt to do that then, and then he's going to make a strike against you. 17.
Absolutely hits. It was foolish to get close to him. I started this fight by saying, "Oh, you're using a whip. I'm so far away from you," but no.
8 damage.
Okay, she's
But that
getting in
is
there.
Yeah, then it is Stranger's turn.
Okay. Let me think here. I'm trying to work fast. That is his last.
That
what
was
is it?
his last legendary resistance. That is correct.
Okay. Bodak gun.
Wait, the Bodak cloth is kind of the super gun of Oggo-Bo'doggo.
Yeah, the secret gun of Oggo-Bo'doggo has been with us the whole time.
Yeah, he's gonna Bodak gun. Cassidy.
All right. So I need to make a constant. Which save is it?
Oh, let me find it. Where is Bodak gun in here?
I feel like the
Con
audience
save.
could have easily forgotten about this. Like,
Yeah.
wait, Stranger has a gun? What?
So it's a Constitution save, and what's the number I need to beat?
17.
17, and then if it's 5 or lower, just instantly goes down.
Yep.
All right, let's see. 19. Whoo!
Yeah, so I will use my last spell slot, my last use of silvery barbs I can do to make him reroll that.
Oh no! 16, which
Fuck.
is
Well, he still takes damage.
he doesn't insta die, but he does take damage from it. So it's going to be close to see if this is enough to get him down before he heals himself.
Okay, so that is, let me see, back to my inventory, Bodak cloak. 3d10. 15.
Oh boy, this is close.
Okay,
Okay,
that means I just need to save or suck him. I just need to suck him.
Mouth moves. Mouth power mouth.
Hold on. Okay, I'm going to cast Erupting Earth on him.
Okay.
So, this is Save or Suck. DC 17 because I have a +1 from the Bodak Club. 18 damage.
3, so he'll take 18 damage.
Yep.
Oh, we're getting real close.
Fuck.
He is so close. He is gonna make an attack against you though. 25.
Yeah, it's gonna hit.
All right. It's going to be 8 damage. He's really rolling 2s on that D8 a lot. So I want to note before it gets to Cassie's turn, it is Lilian. He is going to use Lay on Hands and heal himself a whole bunch on his turn. So I want to set the stakes as we move into Lilian's turn.
Uh-huh.
Lilian, what are you gonna do?
Lilian, like, the necrotic, like, energy of, like, the inflict wounds spell Lilian's been using, like, a couple times in this fight, like, it dissipates, like, it withers on the vine and, like, falls off the sword. So Lilian's just going at, Cassidy with, like, fair regular-ass rapier, and I am going to use my mask, my bunny mask to make that, attack to hit a crit on him.
You're gonna auto crit?
I'm gonna auto-crit on this motherfucker with my normal-ass sword.
Holy shit, give me that damage.
11 damage.
Lethal or non-lethal?
Non-lethal.
All right, describe to me what happens, Lilian.
So Lilian has been, like, swinging fair sword, like, with a kind of a reckless abandon that you guys haven't really seen from Fair before. Like, Killings is less familiar, but, like, Stranger is very familiar with, like, the hesitant way that, like, Lilian does, like, melee attacks, like, in the past. So this is, like, kind of a surprise to you, and then Faye, like, the magic dissipates from Fair Sword, and, like, they just do, like, one, like, really good fucking jab at, like, I don't know, like, his leg or like, waist or something. Non-lethal, but, like, just fucking take that bitch out.
Yeah, absolutely. You, like, pierce him straight through, and then like remove your sword, and he will just he'll drop his weapon, falls to the ground, and then he himself will like kind of fall to his knees.
Your undoing was you underestimated this person who is 10% of your size and has never hit anyone with a sword before. You fool! A rookie mistake.
Lilian just looks like so exhausted because Faye still like has like the mechanical exhaustion and is like 17 hit points and has never hit someone with fair sword normally before, and just like, how about that for resolve?
I think that when you look at Commander Cassidy, he seems oddly proud as he looks at you. Like there is almost like a sense of satisfaction he has in this defeat.
In the background, Killings is using the paint sword to paint a big guillotine. Someone's going to have to hold her back.
What about Harvest? Is Harvest proud of his little brother?
Yeah, Harvest is kind of like he's doing like the thing where you put like your fingers in the sides of your cheeks to do that whistle sound. I can't do it myself or I would just do it, but he's doing that, but with like the pumpkin in the middle of his body, like, woo!
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, Stranger will very, very much go over to Killings and start erasing her guillotine, and go and say to her, Miss Killings, I don't know what your problem with him is, but you can hash out your grudge after White has not killed us all.
Just, I am going to like look over at Killings with like this look in my eye that's just like not like bloodthirsty, but it like Lilian is like looking at her and just it's just like, Miss Killings, with the utmost respect, not to be rude at all, what the fuck is your problem? We are not killing Cassidy. We are not killing someone we don't need to. We are getting his help to take care of the person that is a danger to everybody that we know on this island right now, and that's the end of it.
Oh, wow, that was so assertive for Lilian. I've never heard you speak like that before. Killings is taken aback. Is like, wow. Well, why do you speak about me this way when I'm not around? What's all the Cassidy love for?
I have no particular love for Cassidy. I respected that he was being polite when he showed up. He didn't seem to want to be a bother or hurt anyone here, so I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. He tried to do a vibe check on his own, and he learned some disturbing things, and now he has a chance to help us and to do something right by us and right by the people here, and I think that's more important than trying to settle a grudge.
I told you in the vibe check, when the sun rises, we all hide in the dark. Well, he is helpful to us in this scenario, and will increase our chances of survival. And quite frankly, Miss Killings, you consider this, we can consider this something of a vibe check. One that you also would have failed previously, and he is far more, he has shown far more positives than you did when Hylia gave you a pass.
It's only because of Hylia that I didn't impale him on my sword when he was in the vibe check, helpless in front of us. So, I have, I think, shown more restraint than you give me credit for.
And now you believe just because you have him on his knees in front of you, this is somehow any better?
No, it's not any better, but I had to try. I had to ask. I had to put the tiger on the table and yell at it. This is called blue skying. This is a thing we do in the corporate world. There's no bad ideas in a brainstorm.
I thought blue skying was when you posted your butt on social media.
What benefit do we reap by killing him? None.
No, absolutely none. And we desperately need a navy, and he came here on a ship full of soldiers. So it's completely irrational. I hate the way he stands. It's whack. His sword is whack. His face is whack.
It's actually a whip. Just don't.
Killings walks up to you, Cassidy, and like you're kneeling because you've just been impaled through the leg with a rapier, and she looks down on you. She says, "I just have one question for you, Captain Commander Commodore.
And that is?
What do you think of the title Hetman Hyalea?"
Spell it out for me.
Hetman.
It is good alliteration.
Yeah, it is. I've liked it a lot, and nobody knows Ukrainian history, so no one has any preconceived understanding of it besides me.
That sounds like a fantastic name for your Pope.
All right, it sounds like we're all in agreement then. If you still have some things to hash out with Cassidy, we can take care of that after the life-threatening circumstances, like I believe Stranger said.
The stranger will turn to the assemblage of Cassidy's warriors and say, if any of you have a problem with this current scenario and the, I suppose, change of leadership, you may take it up with the complaints department. And he gestures to Harvest.